Welcome back to Supah Sobah Sports. We are here today to talk about some UFC 249. We're going to also rank our current NBA top 10 players, and then we're also going to rank our top 10 players of all time. And we're going to start the show by talking a little bit about our golf round me and Flabo had yesterday with our boy Steve Ha and Big B, Brian Cerrone. What an eventful afternoon that was at Old Scottish Links in Bridgewater. Flabo, what are your takeaways from that? It got off to a crazy start in the first hole there.
Yeah, no, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare in the parking lot, honestly. We had a late tee time, so, Steve, our boy, likes to get after it. So we're getting after in the parking lot. We had hit the liquor store a second time before we started our round. So we got up to the first hole feeling good, obviously. I'm no expert myself. Maloney here, I think he might have shot under on the day, or even maybe.
One over.
But
yeah.
I sliced the shit out of my first drive right off a house, which is barely even reachable. Steve just is pumping his driver, and so as is Big B, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
We look over at Stevie. Somehow is on the other fairway. He's in a good position, and he's like, "Which way's the hole?" I'm like, "Straight up to the right." Next thing you know, we let him be. Let Stevie do his thing. He shoots the ball backwards, like towards the
100-yard marker.
Towards like the tee, yeah. And like almost like at Maloney. It was out of a movie. It was just. And Nardi, you've played with Stevie before. Yesterday was.
That doesn't surprise me. I've played with Big B before too, who has had some all-time meltdowns on the course. So I'm surprised there's been no Big B stories yet. But
there was noise complaints in the town of Bridgewater yesterday from us for sure. But then Maloney, how about the 16th hole?
Oh, so yeah, we get to 16. Obviously with the coronavirus going on and everything, no one has like water coolers out in the course. They have those like elevated stands and everything where you put the igloo in and everything. So we get up there and our good friend Steve just walks up to the water jug where it should be. And there's a bird's nest there, and there's a baby little robin. I think we ended up finding out it was a robin. At first, we weren't sure if it was a hawk or what it was, a red-tailed hawk or whatever. But yeah, anyways, we ended up deciding it was probably a robin. So he decides to take the wild animal and just carries it for the last 3 holes, carries it for the car ride home, and then brings it into his house after. And yeah, and anyways, long story short, I don't think the family was too happy with it, and it stayed the night. And then today, he ended up going back to the course and walked out to the 16th hole and put it back to its home. I think he was getting some complaints from the female crowd and some other people on Snapchat, whatever.
Right, and
it must have made him feel good after he brought it back. But
let me pledge for Stevie's case here. Yes, the incident itself was a ridiculous movement. I'm up on the tee box and I just hear him scream, "Yo, is there chickens in here?" And next thing you know, he's got a bird. But in Stevie's defense, the nest was now ruined, which wasn't completely Stevie's fault. And there was just one single bird, and he was a real little guy. So Steve scooped it up, being the gentle giant he is. And he took it home, nurtured it, gave it a warm place to sleep. And today, after some further research, decided it was best to take it back. If you ask me, the situation couldn't have been handled any better.
He fell in love with the little fella.
Right. Yeah, he made a new best friend.
To say Steve couldn't be a good godfather, I think you'd be just a liar.
He also named it Little Steven, so it had to be. It was destined for success.
Absolutely. So, shout out to that bird.
Yeah, shout out
to Stevie's drive on what was the 5th hole, the par 5. Steve hit a bomb there. He hit one like about 250. No, he hit a really good one. It was like one of those like his little fadeaways there. And
big
going was all the way into it. Big B was sending it pretty good off the tee. Flabo was very consistent off the tee.
Straight every time, not very far.
It was my 3rd round, my new driver. I finally started getting a good hang of it. I was missing it left the first couple of rounds, but I started getting a nice little draw in the middle going. It was a good day, good afternoon.
Nice course. Maloney was striping it. Yeah, when Steve gets his weight behind it, dude, he can smoke it.
Oh, he makes good contact as long as he doesn't hit it 5 inches behind.
And the best thing is he doesn't even consider a practice swing. It's not.
Oh, no. He doesn't line up or anything. It's just he gets up and hits it. Wherever it goes, it goes. But he hits it pretty good most of the time, which is pretty funny.
Well, it was fun.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Exactly.
We'll
There's no
keep you
pictures in the
posted on that.
scorecard.
Lard, you had a little incident today. You hanging in there?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there.
Oh, yeah.
Car was totaled today. Took my eye off the road. I'm not going to incriminate myself
Yeah.
here, but
So I don't think the lawyers and the insurance companies listening.
everyone's all right. Everyone's all right besides my car, so we're thankful.
That's good. Everyone's
That's good to hear. All right, well, let's transition to our first topic here. We're going to talk about a little recap of UFC 249. We're going to start off with some of the lower fights and then work our way up to like the main card and the main event. The one fight I want to talk about to start was one of the girl fights, Carla Esparza versus Michelle Larson. There was some controversy here. I was heavy on Esparza. She was a former champ. She's never knocked anyone out in any of her fights or anything. All of her fights have gone to split decision. She has no submissions as well. And then she was fighting this chick, Michelle Larson, who's like kind of on her come up. Like, you know, the announcers like Rogan and a couple of the other guys were like favoring Larson the whole entire fight. And I was like, there's no way that Larson wins this fight. Like, but everyone on Twitter is like, oh, Larson's winning this fight. Like, everyone's being biased and everything. But like Esparza literally was like controlling the fight. And then she ended up winning in a split decision. It came down to the last one. I believe the first guy ruled it like 30-27 Larson. The next one was like 20, and it was like 29-28 Esparza. And then she ended up winning the last one like 30-27. But when I heard 30-27, I thought they were going to go to Larson. I was kind of a little rip shit on that. But then yeah, she ended up winning the fight. Do you guys have any takeaways from that particular fight or?
No, I don't really remember that fight specifically. That one's on.
No,
me.
yeah, it wasn't even on the whatever. I had a little bit of attention on it for other reasons. All right, so let's move into the last fight we're going to talk about before we get to the main card here. Anthony Pettis defeating Cowboy Cerrone. What did you guys think of that fight? I had Pettis in that fight as well. Cerrone is one of those guys who just kind of comes out and he fights all the time. He's respected throughout the whole entire UFC. He's a warrior, but like I think it's almost time for him to hang it up pretty soon. He's fought so many fights.
Yeah, no, he can take a punch. I'm a fan of his. And that in terms of just the overall card, that fight being like a prelim type of thing, it's pretty dope. That was a good thing they had going for him. I'm trying to remember if that was a controversial stoppage or was that a decision?
No, that was I believe that was just a split decision or unanimous decision. But like it wasn't really too controversial.
But no, that was a good fight if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, it was a good fight. I like Pettis a lot. Both of those guys have fought, a lot of the top guys in the UFC. Cerrone, he had a good fight this time, better than his last two fights, especially the one against McGregor. But yeah, I'm a fan of his. But like you said, it might be time for him to hang it up. He's been doing it a while now, but who knows?
All right, next fight I want to talk about is it's actually one of my favorite guys to watch, even though he's starting to slow down with the knockouts and everything. Now that he's kind of moving up more in the ranks, even though his wrestling is getting a lot better with his experience, is Greg Hardy versus Yorhan de Castro. Hardy kind of just like maintained. He dominated him in the first round, and then he's kind of kept it going. He never knocked him out, but he had a unanimous decision here. What do you guys think about Hardy? Do you guys think this guy has potential to maybe move up and get into like a top 3 or 4 contender in the heavyweight and maybe potentially get a belt? Or what do you guys think about this?
I don't know too much about him. I've seen him fight a couple times now. He's a beast, obviously. But to me, I don't know. He seems like the work ethic, I don't know if it's there. I don't know, like, how much does he even care? Like, he's probably got some money himself. So I don't know if he's just doing this for something to do. He likes to fight. But I don't see a reason he couldn't be. But I think it just comes down to if he wants to be.
Yeah, I agree. It comes down to the work ethic, but the heavyweight is kind of light right now. So I think he definitely has a chance. He's obviously one of the top athletes in that division, being a former NFL player. The way that they came out, it was so fun the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of the fight. They were swinging heavy on each other, throwing, two obviously big dudes. But after that round, de Castro just got dominated. Could never get back into the rhythm, and Hardy just basically did everything he wanted to do. That fight wasn't really close, but after the first like minute and a half, I thought Castro might land one of those rights and knock Hardy out.
What did you guys think about the Calvin Qatar versus he defeated Jeremy Stevens in that fight? Obviously, Qatar had the New England Mafia or New England something on his mouth guard. So he got to him early. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a whole ton of think about that fight. Obviously he ended up defeating him, and I thought it was a pretty solid fight. Do you guys have any takes on that fight?
No, nothing big. I mean, pretty cool again. Like 2 New Englanders with the Castro kid out of Durfee, and then Qatar got the win. But yeah, not much to say from that fight.
All right, but that was not too big of a fight. So then also we had Francis Ngannou with his 22nd KO over Jazarino Rosenstruck. I don't know how to say his name, but that guy is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that guy is one scary dude. Yeah, I mean, that's basically all I got to say about that guy. I mean, he didn't even hit him with his best punch, and that guy was literally just dropped, like knocked out. He like barely even hit him on the chin. And that guy I can't imagine if he got a full punch on that guy.
Mm-hmm. No, that guy's a beast. I don't have much else to say either.
The only fucking bet I won all night was that guy. Didn't cut that one out too much. He took care of business.
Okay, so this was the most controversial fight of the night. Henry Cejudo against Cruz. I had money on Cejudo as well. He won by TKO. So a lot of people were complaining that they stopped the fight too early for Cruz. People were saying he was starting to get up. But, I mean, Cejudo was wailing on him. And then after the fight, Cruz comes out saying Keith Pearson smelled like alcohol and cigarettes. And then Herb Dean, who's like the most respected official in all of like UFC, comes out after and says like, nah, like we were around this guy for like hours before. He didn't smell like anything. Like we were with him literally for hours before. Like how could he be like snuck any of this or anything? He's like, we would have stepped in and stopped this. What do you guys think of this whole controversy?
Yeah, first of all, I don't think the fight was stopped early. I think the guy had gotten beat. But to come out and say that after the fight is a bold claim on a referee. I mean, could potentially ruin the guy's career. I mean, like if he did smell like alcohol and cigarettes, then yeah, obviously you have a problem there. But I believe Herb Dean, obviously over the fighter who kind of, heat of the moment type thing, it feels like was just a little emotional after the loss.
Yeah, no, you can't say that. Even if you, like you said, think that or know it, you got to, like, tell someone else first, get control of it. I don't think it's true. The problem I have with the stoppage is that there was, I think, 2 seconds left in the round.
It was that late?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think it was towards later in the round. I didn't realize that at first.
I think the ref should take that into account a little bit, but no, he was losing the fight.
Plus, I mean, obviously, like, when, like, Cejudo won, like, he already had, like, the belt and everything, like, but, like, you think he'd probably say something if he thought that Keith Pearson, like, had some sort of scent on him or something, right?
I agree. I mean, the guy must have walked by hundreds of people to get into that ring. Maybe not hundreds.
Yes, someone would have saw something. Like, you're telling me, like,
somebody, smelled.
I mean, like Rogan and White, like all the fighters, all the other refs, like the ring girl, like someone would have said something.
There's no way.
And that guy retiring after the fight, like, give me a fucking break, dude.
Yeah, well, I hated that. In front of no
dude.
crowd.
He tried to make it about himself, right? No, come on.
I did not understand that at all. Yeah, you didn't even. I don't know. I didn't like that at all.
No.
So let's move into the main event here. Obviously the biggest upset of the night. Ferguson was minus 230. One of the more. He was actually not one of the more heavy favorites. Well, I guess he was one of the more heavy favorites for the night. So Justin Gaethje beat him. Obviously, a ton of people. I mean, McGregor and Khabib have been going off on Twitter about this and everything. What were you guys' initial takeaways from that fight?
I mean, Ferguson, I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about the UFC, I'll admit it. And this guy was, known as one of the highly respected guys, but he did not look good in this fight. And
Yeah,
especially,
everyone was talking him up big time. Like,
oh,
oh, he's gonna kill him in like a first round and all
yeah, I
this.
mean,
He looked terrible.
Gaethje had what, like 11 days, 2 weeks or something like that to prepare. I mean, he was so more well prepared for this fight. He dominated. Ferguson, that was a letdown.
Oh, he absolutely dominated. I went 1-0 betting, so I'll take that. Thank you. But yeah, I think he won every round. I don't think it was ever really up in the air. And yeah, I don't know if I had seen Ferguson fight, but I agree. The hype was just he would have lost to McGregor, Khabib, anybody there. Like that was not it.
I'm excited to see Gaethje versus Khabib.
Mm-hmm.
And McGregor versus Diaz 3 will happen too.
Yeah.
Those would be good fights. All right, let's move more into our more of our strong suits here of stuff we know a lot better. We're going to talk about our current top tens for NBA players in the league. I'll start us off here with my 10, 9, and 8. So at 10, I got our boy Jason Tatum, pull up shooting. Jason Tatum. I think this guy, honestly, I think his comparison, he's not as much of a ball hog as Kobe, but the way he moves, obviously he worked out with him in the offseason and stuff. His like pull up, step back, just his like one-on-one game, it's just so effortless and smooth. He makes it look so easy. He's performed in big times in the playoffs before without even their best player, Kyrie Irving. Yeah, I mean, this guy's literally led the team like in the playoffs. Number 9, I got Luka, another young guy, Luka Doncic. He has a pretty similar move to Tatum. It's just kind of a little crossover, step back. He literally shoots like there's not a guy in his face. He'll have a hand literally like 2 inches below the tip of his fingers, and he just acts like there's no one even there. At number 8, I have the Energizer Bunny, Russell Westbrook. He's one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, this guy never gets tired. He just runs up and down the court, throws it down. I mean, that big game on national television against the Celtics that they had in control for a while. I mean, there was a putback dunk, a one-handed putback dunk by Westbrook that was just like, this guy is just a freak. He's one of my favorite players to watch. So who do you got, Flavo, for your 10 through 8?
Yeah, so I want to do a quick shout out, Jason Tatum. He's right there. I think a little out of it now, but and then James Harden's not making the list. That guy is he is bad to watch. He's doing basketball. So then I got Klay Thompson at 10, one of the best shooters in the league, lockdown defender. Like you said, Westbrook, I got him at 9. He's growing on me. He's a grinder. No pause button for him. And then I got Lillard at 8, who I think is emerging. Ridiculously clutch, I think. Leading Portland. They were moving pretty well this year, so I don't know how that is going to end, but there I go. How about you, Lard?
10, I got Joel Embiid. I think he can be as dominant as pretty much anybody in the league, but I think there's some questions on, his work ethic and stuff. Like some
Durability.
Yeah, definitely durability. He needs to stay on the court, but, some nights he just seems uninterested and just doesn't want to be there. At 9, I got Celtics, Jason Tatum. Obviously so young, so skilled. It felt like, when he got that all-star nod, he really took his game to the next level, and it was like he was scoring 30 every night. Then at 8, I got Luka. I think those two, Luka and Tatum, will be going back and forth for a while now. Hopefully we'll get to see a couple of NBA finals with those two involved.
Yeah, also I just wanted to clarify, these lists are as if everyone in the league was healthy.
Yeah.
Like right now. Okay, so for my number 7, I have the unibrow, Anthony Davis. I mean, he's 7 foot. He can shoot. I mean, he's got LeBron on his side now, help him look better. He can take nights off, whatever. But I mean, he's in the prime of his career. He's like, 26, 27 years old. He still has his best basketball ahead of him for a little bit. Number 6, I really despise this guy. I hate him and everything, but the way this guy puts the ball in the basket, and he's averaging like 34.5 points a game. James Harden, I absolutely hate him though. But I'm gonna give him his dues. Like, he's a great scorer, like good player, but I just can't stand when he drives to the rim and starts doing like all the head bobbing and all that. But yeah. And then number 5, another guy I'm not really too fond of, but I'm not trying to be my best to be not biased here. I got Steph Curry at number 5. There was actually one highlight tape I saw of him of all his like crazy handles and stuff. I knew he was a good ball handler and everything, but I didn't really realize how great of a handler he was and everything. I just kind of thought of him more as like a just spot up shooter and like catch and shoot, whatever. But no, he's got a lot of game for him. I'm not too fond of the way he like acts in the paint and everything. But who do you got, Flower, for your 7 through 5?
Yeah, I got Embiid at 7. I think he's one of the most unguardable people in the league when he stays healthy. That's the big if for him. Then I got Anthony Davis at 6. He's a beast. I mean, he just can do it all. Him and LeBron. And then this is my 5th overall, who you guys don't love, I don't think, but I feel very confident about my list, and especially the top. I got Giannis at 5. Still hasn't really proved anything, hasn't won. The East has not been great. He's been getting the first overall seed, cannot shoot a lick, not a great passer. He's unstoppable, but I don't know.
I like it. At 7, I got Damian Lillard. Think as clutch as anybody in the NBA. That shot he hit against OKC is one of the best shots in NBA history that will live forever. He absolutely dominates Russell Westbrook too. Number 6, Anthony Davis. Probably on his way to winning Defensive Player of the Year this year. Even after a long run, I think they got some NBA championships to come. And at 5, I got Steph too, best shooter in NBA history. And yeah, like you said, he's a top 5 handle in NBA history too. I mean, those highlight reels are absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, in the blink of an eye, he can score fucking 15 points, 5 threes, 5 possessions.
So you have him ahead of Ray Allen and Reggie Miller for shooting?
Yes, hell yeah.
Yeah, confidently?
Oh, confidently. I mean, he shoots off the dribble better than both of those.
Yeah, that's fair.
Threes. He's going to shatter the 3-point record. I mean, 2-3 years, that's going to be his. Yeah, I got him over those too easy.
And that was your 4?
Yeah, that was
your 5?
My 5, yeah.
Okay. So for number 4, I have Kevin Durant. I don't know how I feel about this guy. Like, I hated him when he did that OKC move to the Warriors, and like, because he's one of the top players in the league, and like he is so soft. Like he's like Kyrie Irving. Like he really needs to go get 3 other like potential Hall of Famers, superstars, to go win a championship against LeBron and like nobody, like Kevin Love, whatever. Like I can't stand him, but like I mean, you can't deny his shot in his game. Like he drains like buckets. Like he can score. He's so long, like Durantula. I mean, he's basically like 7 foot. I feel like they undersize him just so he's more of like a small forward than a power forward. Number 3, I got Kawhi Leonard. He's just like Mr. Basketball. Like he's got every single fundamental to his game. He can lock anyone down. He's got a great mid range, not too flashy. He doesn't talk a lot. Obviously, like he's just a quiet guy, you know, fun guy, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, so I got him at number 3. And then at number 2, I got LeBron. He'll probably start to decline in this list over the next few years. I think he's starting to – I don't know. I mean, I will say he got screwed this year. I still think I don't know. This season might return, but personally, I think the way that the Clippers lineup is built, I think they would end up beating them with their defensive lineup with like Beverly. You have 2 6'9" elite defenders, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. But I mean, I'm not hating on LeBron. I mean, LeBron's LeBron. He's probably the second greatest player of all time, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, he's LeBron. Who do you have for your 4 through 2, Flavo?
Yeah, let me just say something real quick. To me, not even about LeBron, but they're crazy. But to me, it's crazy that you can say Giannis is better than Durant and Kawhi. I just don't understand that.
MVPs, numbers.
No, MVP. No.
I watch. I mean,
no, the I watch is the thing, dude. Like,
have you seen the Bucks record?
Yeah, no, they're great in the regular season.
Yeah. Well, guess who's not in the East anymore? LeBron.
Yeah, so then you having Giannis over LeBron's ridiculous. But anyways, I got Curry at 4.
He has no help either. I mean, he's got a deeper lineup, but like he's also way younger.
He's been the league.
He's gotten exponentially better each year.
Yeah, the last 2 years have been the exact same. He still can't shoot or pass.
I don't know. He's dominant.
if he hasn't even got – has he gone to Eastern Conference Finals?
Oh, yeah. He got the Eastern Conference Finals last year, didn't he?
No.
No. The year before that, he definitely did. He's gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals at least
Celtics have
twice.
lost the last 2 years now. The year before, at least.
Or was it
No, last year he did, didn't he?
Last year's it might have been Raptors Bucks, but he got worked by Kawhi. I remember that.
Yeah.
So I got Curry at 4, Durant at 3. That guy gets buckets, and then Kawhi at 2, just best two-way player in the game. What about you, Lardy?
All right, so I got Giannis at 4. Physical freak, obviously, 7 foot, just freak in nature. But like you said, he can't shoot. He's not a great passer. What he can do is just take those 2 long strides and dunk. And I mean, yeah, that's awesome. But like, eventually, people are gonna figure out how to defend that. At 3, I got Kawhi, coming off that playoff run last year, ridiculous, best two-way player in the NBA, like you said. And at 2, I got KD. He's just a walking bucket. Like, nobody can stop him. He's a 7-foot shooting guard, pretty much. He can score anyway, and it just comes so natural to him. It looks so easy. Yeah, it was a soft move going to Golden State after blowing a 3-1 lead to them in the Western Conference Finals. But he's moved on. I'm hoping. Actually, no, I'm not cheering for him. But I expect him to still be the same, just dominant.
That's going to be interesting. I mean, I think those are the 2 biggest head cases in the league. Yeah. Some people feel like, oh, they're so weird, they're going to work together. I think they're not going to work together at all because KD can't be the number 1 to win a championship. And Kyrie, he wants to be number 1, but I don't think he's good enough to be the number 1 to win a championship. And he just sucks overall as a person.
KD still needs to be number 1, but he needs so much help, like, because he can't be at all times.
The mental midget.
Yeah.
But I think Kyrie, either the Nets are gonna have to trade Kyrie because of KD, or KD's gonna leave and Kyrie's gonna stay, and everyone's gonna hate them. Yeah. That franchise, I don't see that franchise like being
it's gonna be
a 1 or 2 or 3 seed with the next couple of years.
I mean, you gotta love it though. It should make the East interesting.
No, it's gonna make it entertaining for sure. Now that we're on the topic, how about that? Like once they banned all the fans and everything, all of a sudden, Kyrie's just like, "Oh, I want to play Kemba 1-on-1." I know they're both from like New York, whatever.
No,
but like,
dude,
he sucks. Kyrie sucks, dude.
He wouldn't say Boston.
I know he made it. About
he's like, "Oh yeah, New Jersey, New York will love it." Oh, you don't mean Boston where he plays and you played like the last 2 years and all the fans, everybody hates you. Like, what a puss bag! I can't stand that guy.
The whole fucking Instagram story after that game. We were actually we were saying, where is Kyrie? And he's like, yo, this is just a game. Like, people don't understand the mental toll. Like, all right, dude, then go get a regular job where nobody else boos you. Like, quit.
Also, paid to get booed, you bum.
Yeah.
Also, who calls him K-Walk? Who calls him K-Walk?
Yeah, I was
no
confused. I was confused. I was like, who's
no one? No one calls him K-Walk.
Does K-Walk like Kyrie? Like, probably
no
not.
way. I bet you Kemba doesn't even say anything about it. He's probably like, dude,
oh,
this
for
guy,
sure,
like,
he's not going to say a word.
I bet you, yeah. I mean, I hope he doesn't.
Show up to the Garden next year, then.
Yeah, facts. I mean, whatever. Anyway, so spoiler alert. My number 1 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just think he's the greatest. I mean, I think he's the best player right now. Obviously, he's young. He's like I think he just keeps getting better. He keeps getting stronger. His dribbling is better. I mean, he dribbles very well. His mid-range game's okay. I mean, obviously, he can't really shoot the 3 that well, but I mean, he can get to the rim at will whenever he wants. But I think it's hard to say he's not the best player in the league right now because the 2 teams looking to trade for him potentially are the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics. There's a lot of rumors coming out about the Celtics maybe trading Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart and like 2 picks or something like that for him, and then there's another team involved, or the other one is Jaylen Brown and Gordon Hayward and a 1 pick. That their first round pick for the 2021. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this guy, he doesn't really have a supporting cast. I mean, his best next player is Chris Middleton. I mean, are you shitting me? Like,
dominates.
I know he's at a pretty, like, they have a long team and stuff, but like Chris Middleton. I mean, this guy's been they've been like a 1, 2, or 3 seed the last, I don't know, 4 years or so. I think they made the Eastern Conference Finals. I believe it's 2 years. I'm pretty sure they made it last year. 2 years ago was the Celtics and Cavs, and then 3 years ago, or it might only be one. I'm not sure, but he's been into he's advanced past the first round at least 4 times.
That's good. That's good. The 1 seed should beat the 8 seed.
Yeah.
Huh?
The 1 seed should beat the 8 seed.
Yeah, no, they should. But I don't know if he's been the 1 seed every single year, but he's still very young. People are not talking about that.
Facts, no.
Okay. So Flabo, who do you have for your number 1 player in the league?
Yeah, I got LeBron. No, your arguments about Giannis aren't crazy. That's just, I don't know. He doesn't have or talking about killer, I don't know. I just don't want him having the ball at the end. LeBron, I still think's the best player by a pretty good margin.
Yeah, I agree. He was number 1 in the West this year. I think well on his way to winning the NBA Finals. I love all the people who have said for years that LeBron's afraid of the West. In his first full season, he basically locked up the 1 seed. He
doesn't mean he's gonna win though.
No, it doesn't mean he's gonna win. No, just like Giannis.
He also doesn't have Ray Allen or Kyrie Irving, so to bail him out. So we'll see how that goes.
He has Anthony Davis. That's fine though. He's still the best player in the league.
All right, so now we're gonna transition into our top 10 NBA players of all time. I'll lead us off here. I'm gonna give an honorable mention to my number 11 guy, which is Kobe Bryant. He didn't quite sink into my top 10. But yeah, and nonetheless, I have him at 11. My number 10 player of all time is Oscar Robinson, who, I mean, his numbers are very impressive. He was known for dominating the boards. He also put up a lot of points. He averaged 26 points per game, 9.5 rebounds per game, 9.5 assists per game, my bad, and 7.5 rebounds per game. He's kind of one of the forgotten players there that a lot of people put in the teens. I thought he deserved to get the number 10 spot. For number 9, I got Hakeem Olajuwon, another big guy who had 22 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, 3.1 blocks per game, which I believe is the most all time, 2.5 assists per game, and he also averaged 1.7 steals per game. For a guy his size, that is very impressive. Then I have another big guy at 8, Will Chamberlain. Obviously has the most points scored in a game. And then I have he averaged 30 points per game over his career. And he had, I think it was 13 rebounds per game, and then 4.4 assists per game. He had a very impressive career. What do you got there, Flabo, for your 10 through 8 all time?
Yeah, so I got Kobe at 10. Not a huge fan. Thought it would be tough to leave him off the list, though. He can score. He won. Yeah, that's it about him.
Underrated defender, too. I think he was a 9-time first-team All-Defender.
Yeah, I don't think he was a good defender. Will Chamberlain, I got him at 9. You could argue him all the way up the list. He played, I think, at a not as competitive a time. So the numbers, I don't know, a little inflated, but you can't argue that either way. And then 8, I got Shaq. The middle of his career when he was dominating, he was just unbelievable. He, I think, 1 or 2 MVPs. I think only 1. But then the championships, he was unstoppable when he was playing. Guy couldn't shoot, but he didn't have to.
Yeah, so at 10, I got Tim Duncan, one of the more forgotten players, but just a true winner. Was the centerpiece of that Spurs dynasty, him and Pop, obviously. At 9, I got Kareem, just dominant, one of the best Lakers of all time. And then at 8, Mr. 100, Wilt Chamberlain. Like you said, just stats a little inflated from the time that he was playing because he was so much bigger, taller than everybody else. But, hard to keep him off the list, though.
Yeah, so I just realized my whole bottom half of this list is all big guys, but that's just the way it is. So I got number 7, I got Mr. 11 Fingers, Bill Russell, granddaddy champion. He averaged, 22.5 rebounds per game. He had 15 points per game, 4.3 assists per game. I mean, you win 11 championships. You're probably a pretty good basketball player. You're probably blending in pretty well with your teammates, I would assume. I mean, I know there's only was like 8 to 12 like teams in the league, but hey, he won 11 out of 13. So that's pretty impressive. Number 6, I got Shaq. Obviously, he was an absolute specimen in Orlando. And then I carried on into LA, where he filled out even a little bit more, and he just started bullying dudes even more. He was a little bit more athletic in Orlando. And then he went to the Heat and then Cavs and Celtics, whatever. But then number 5, I got the Great White Hope, Larry Bird. I mean, he was Mr. Sycamore, Indiana State. I mean, he took them all the way to the national championship against Magic Johnson to lose. I mean, some of the stories you see of Larry Bird talking about before the three-point contest, being like, oh, you guys know you're all playing for second place. One of the years he shot with his warm-up jacket on. That's never been done before. Just stories about him literally being like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go spot up over here. I'm going to shoot in your face and win this game. Like, and he does it. Like, I mean, that guy's a savage. I mean, he's the ultimate trash talker. People don't even recognize him as much as well. Like, I mean, he's the greatest white basketball player of all time. I mean, it's as simple as that. What do you got, Flabo, for your 7 through 5?
What do I got? I got Tim Duncan at 7. I think he's big time forgotten. 5-time champion, 2-time MVP. Dude was just so fundamentally sound, so well defensively.
He averaged 17 rebounds a game in the 2003 finals.
Did he?
That's ridiculous.
He was dominating, but yeah, his first, I think, 12 or 13 years, he was all defense and all NBA, which is absurd. But then I got Bill Russell at 6, like Matt already said. He also won 5 MVPs, which is crazy to me. Like, and he played at the same time as Wilt, right? More or less.
Yeah. No one talks about him.
No one talks about it, which is crazy because he dominated Wilt if he won all those championships. He was an unreal defender. I know that. And then I got Kareem at 5. I think probably the best big guy of all time, 6 championships. He played with Magic, obviously, but he was unbelievable.
At 7, I got Shaq. I think just during his prime was about as dominant of an NBA player as we've ever seen. It's funny to think, as good as Shaq was, he's kind of a journeyman, been on so many different teams, had that little run at the end where he was just kind of getting passed around. He wasn't the same. At 6, I got Magic, best point guard of all time. I think Steph's going to have a run at that when it's all said and done. But right now, yeah, Magic, I mean, just unbelievable passer, everything. Then at 5, like we've said, the all-time NBA champion, Bill Russell, 11 championships. Just you can't argue with that. And some of the highlights from him is ridiculous, getting rebounds and just dribbling the whole length of the court at his size. Yeah, he dominated.
Yeah, so number 4, I have Magic Johnson, who his career averaged triple-double with 19 and a half points per game and a little over 11 assists per game, along with getting, I think it was like 7 rebounds per game and almost 2 steals per game, which was like Chris Paul numbers for steals. And then at number 3, I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor. He averaged a little bit over 24 and a half points a game, 11 rebounds per game, and then he had like a couple of assists. I think it was like 3.5 assists per game, and he also averaged over 2.5 blocks per game. A lot of people didn't realize how good he was defensively. A lot of people just remember him from like his hook shot and his like his domination and offense around the boards. Around the glass, and he seemed like he was a very good defender. Yeah. And my number 2 player of all time, I got LeBron James. 27 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, 7 assists, 1.5 steals per game, and almost a block per game. He has the eye test for number 1, you would say, but he doesn't, like, after watching, I've always had MJ slightly ahead of him, but after watching some of these, like, the Last Dance documentary and everything, is everyone just says, like, Michael Jordan just had that drive. I mean, LeBron, like, drinks wine or whatever, and he's more of a family guy, he's basketball-oriented. Michael Jordan, to be honest, like, he wasn't even, like, crazy basketball-oriented. I mean, this guy, he gambled a ton. He played golf all the time. Like, he played 36 holes when he was over in the Olympics all the time. He played 18 holes in between days, smoke cigars, drink gin and whatever. And, I mean, this guy, he was just a freak athlete. I mean, he left for a couple of years to go play baseball, comes back, wins 3 more titles. Like, I mean, this guy's – I don't know how you don't put him at number 1. Well, yeah, I'm not going to talk about number 1, but clearly you guys know who it is now. Who do you have for 4 through 2, Flabo?
Yeah, I got Magic at 4. I think he's one of the most ideal basketball players of all time, 6'9" point guard. My favorite Magic thing is he played center in his rookie year in the finals, won finals MVP. That's pretty fucking sick. And then I got 3, I got Larry Bird. Like you said, the best white basketball player ever, one of the coolest white dudes ever maybe. He kind of played like a little bit just LeBron James, but he was a better shooter. Just the way he's so crafty with the ball, watching his highlights. He was unreal. And then I got Jordan at 2. He left in the middle of his career. That's just weird to me. I don't know what that's all about, but I don't think it's because he was bored. He made it seem like he was mad that people were bothering him in the media, which is kind of soft move.
Low key, he actually did have a lot of similarities to LeBron, like with his like actions, with like him, like whole like with the baseball bat, like smoking, like and everything, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna go play baseball. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like people didn't realize that Jordan was kind of as like ignorant as LeBron, like in that time.
He was, dude. He's definitely more ignorant than LeBron, that's for sure. But just the fact that he was the coolest person in the world. He was bigger than the NBA itself. So
yeah,
in that sense, like but he's kind of like a douche, obviously. Extreme competitor, unbelievable, freak athlete. But yeah, I got him at 2 still.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start at 4 with the late Kobe Bryant, the greatest Laker of all time.
Number 4, Kobe, huh?
Number 4, greatest Laker of all time, 5-time champion, underrated defender, as we said earlier, just scorer of the basketball. I mean, he's Michael Jordan, just not Michael Jordan, but I mean, fierce competitor, just great guy, Kobe Bryant, number 4.
Good comparison.
Good guy. Good guy.
Number 3, I got Larry Bird. You guys have hit on it, a bunch of it, just the trash talking and everything like that. I mean, one of my favorite stories was he was playing against the Blazers one night and then 2 nights later playing against the Lakers. And he said that he was going to save his right hand for the Lakers and just play with his left. He went for 47 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. So
incredible.
Pretty ridiculous. And then at 2, I got Michael Jordan. I know you guys got a little catching up to doing this Last Dance, but 7 and 8, I mean, not turn on Jordan, but, you know, some of his teammates and stuff just being like, you know, this guy was a fucking asshole, but he won. And, you know, there was really nothing we could do about it. But, yeah, there's some, you know, videos from practice and stuff, you know, calling his teammates like hoes, bitches and stuff. I don't know how nobody ever said anything to him, but.
No, he got away with it because
he's the greatest.
So good, but I don't think
he said that he said after games that Horace Grant would play bad, he would tell like flight attendants and shit, this guy doesn't deserve to eat, don't feed him. I mean, there's some crazy stuff, but yeah. I mean,
hey, different time. I mean, the pussification of America didn't really kick in quite then yet. Yeah, that's my number 1 player right there, Michael Jordan. I think he was hard nosed. I mean, obviously, he's done some ridiculous, like I was saying earlier about that whole thing with just in the middle of the season, he's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to take a photo shoot of me, like smoking a cigar with a baseball bat and all that. Like, and then he leaves a year later to go play baseball. I mean, low key, Terry Francona even said, he's like, give this guy another like 1,500 at bats. Like, this guy's going to be up in the major leagues. He had like 10 home runs, bad, like 202 without even touching a baseball bat for like 9 years. Yeah, like
there's not one other person in the entire world that could hit 202 in Double A and have a manager say, with just some more at bats, this guy would be in the MLB. No, 202 is a fucking joke. Did you see those things? Did you see those highlights?
No, I mean, dude, he came in cold. He came in cold turkey, and he had more RBIs than like half other prospects they drafted.
Yeah, like 50-something RBIs.
Dude, they probably batted him
and home runs
every game, no matter what.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. Whatever.
He hit
like,
202.
He
I think
could
you
have
guys are. I
played.
think you guys are.
Once they
escaping.
started
Let's see
throwing him
LeBron. Let's see
football,
LeBron play baseball. I know he had his
Why the
he has the
fuck
Ohio State
would
wide
you do
receiver
that?
thing, but
He's way smarter. He wouldn't do that. Jordan left the league because he had
LeBron
to.
bat like
they addressed
22.
that too, Labo.
LeBron would bat 22.
Yeah, no, he won't get it.
LeBron could not swing a baseball bat. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
He played football.
Anyways, yeah, like I was saying, Michael Jordan's basically like Tom Brady. Like he's had like 3 different times where he's been like a dynasty. Like they've won 3 championships in like within like 5 years. Something LeBron's never done. Michael Jordan also. Everyone's like, oh, Michael Jordan, like he's what is he like 1-9 or whatever without Scottie Pippen. Oh yeah, let's not talk about how he got swept by the '86 Celtics, maybe the greatest team of all time, and he dropped what was it like 49 and like.
LeBron
It was
the greatest team of all time.
It was something ridiculous. He dropped like 2.
That was not the
ridiculous
greatest
numbers.
team of all time, but
in the Garden, one of the games he forced triple overtime, so he got swept by them. Then he got swept by the I don't know who it was. I think it was like it was one of the Pistons teams or something like that.
he got his ass kicked by them a bunch of times. Dude,
yeah. This is without Pippen, and everyone.
Oh yeah, I know. That's the moral of the story is he couldn't win without Pippen.
Oh, but he also competed on his own against these teams. And
there was other guys on the court.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, LeBron also has 6 losses. He's 3-6 in the finals. These guys.
He went to the finals, and the second best player was Zydrunas Ilgauskas, though.
Yeah.
What did he do though?
Went to the finals.
Lost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys can go.
I mean, LeBron's a better rebounder, better passer, better shooter, more clutch than Jordan.
Better shooter?
Oh, by far. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. He's a better shooter. Shoots the ball less every game. Way better rebounder. Probably the best passer ever. Better teammate.
Well, let's not forget they also didn't score as many points back then. All their games, you watch their things, they're all under 100 points for the most part. Anything over 100 points is a shootout.
Okay. All right.
Take in consideration.
Yeah, I will.
Michael Jordan also averaged 3 points per game more than him.
Sorry?
Michael Jordan averaged 3 points per game more than him
when
their team scored a lot less.
I bet you that's on like 5 shots.
I'm just saying.
I mean, LeBron has a better field goal percentage, and there's really no statistics to argue he's a better shooter.
Well, LeBron shoots more in the paint because he's more of a driver.
No, he's a better 3-point percentage too, though. That's the best part. Jordan's supposed to be the best shooter.
Why doesn't shoot as much from 3? Because he's streaky.
I think the sample size for his 3 points in the 17-year career is big enough.
It's fair.
It's big enough, but not as much. But hey, whatever.
That's beside the point.
I bet you he's taking more threes than Jordan did.
Probably.
Well, definitely. They're probably not even close.
So that's an.
I like championships. I like winning. I don't know about you guys.
Me too.
I like winning.
LeBron did beat the best team ever. Actually, he didn't get swept by them in the first round.
Without without fucking Scottie Pippen and all them, and he also forced it to. Well, also they only had. Oh my bad. They only played 5-game series then too, so he only lost 3 games, and 2 of them were in the Garden. Awesome. He forced one of them triple overtime.
They were in the playoffs for even smaller amount.
5 Hall of Famers.
Oh, the Golden State team was loaded too. Trust me.
They have 3, maybe 4.
They had probably 3. Yeah.
Most wins of all time, though. So we'll see.
3 lead.
But yeah, no, I don't. I got LeBron. Nothing's gonna change that for me.
Yeah, me as well. I mean, that's fairly obvious after this discussion. I got LeBron 1.
But hey.
Is that all we got for today? He's a good guy. I think he's an alcoholic. I mean, he feeds his like 14, 15-year-old sons fucking red wine.
I know alcoholics. They're all good guys.
He was drinking wine on the bench when he was injured. I never seen Michael Jordan drink wine on the bench when he was injured. Well, no, why? Also, because he was never really injured. But yeah.
LeBron gets hurt.
Yeah, he pulled his hammy or whatever. It took a while to get back. And he's just drinking wine bottles on the bench. But
then he came back better than ever and was going to win the MVP.
Keyword was.
I know, and then fucking coronavirus hit.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, too bad the Los Angeles Clippers didn't hit. They might come back. We'll never know.
I hope they do.
Yeah, hope we do. You guys got any closing statements here, or you good to wrap this up? I got nothing. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. Make sure to like, comment. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at The Wicked Sport 1. Like our Facebook page. Feel free to send us messages, any questions or topics you want us to discuss. Also, you can email us at supersobersports@gmail.com. And, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next episode.